So just to reiterate, we're going to follow the same format. We have a few more demonstrations left for the day before we wrap up and move to stream one. So we'll start off with VIPRE. So I would like to pass over to Jack to just kick off this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, my name's Jack Garnsey. I work for VIPRE Security Group, and I'm here to talk to you about our security awareness training product. I did notice earlier that yeah, security awareness training was a topic of conversation. There was a debate about whether it's the first line or last line of defence, and I think the conclusion was that it's actually both, really. So yeah, very important. In terms of what VIPRE is, we're a globally based. We're actually in the point product market. These are some of the other products that we offer. Yeah, security awareness training was something that really it's the same sort of messaging. It was something we and our customers actually told us that we needed to sort of offer as part of our sort of portfolio, just because it sort of blends everything together. And it also reinforces, the products as well, the same messaging. And from our customers' point of view, it stops people from, making those mistakes or, not using the software properly, reinforcing all those messages so people can get their, full return on investment. So we weren't initially in the security awareness training market. So as a product manager myself, I was given the task of looking what was out there so we could OEM with a company, and I probably reviewed about upwards of 40 different products, all which were had lots of pros and cons and things like that. But we came across a company called Inspired e-learning, Texas-based company, and they've as you can see, they're very highly decorated. They appeared, I was able to read about them all on sort of Gartner and sort of the Forrester Wave, and they had lots of sort of accolades in creating content, basically. So yeah, they traditionally operated in the enterprise space, and not necessarily just security awareness training. It was training of any type, basically. So yeah, they had a learning management system, which we were very interested in. So yeah, in terms of what I was very much interested in was really the sort of production quality. I think, and again, as we talked about, or as the panel talked about earlier today, a lot of the so one of the main challenges with any sort of learning is engagement, basically. So, and as someone who had sort of sat through, an annual training program where I get, sort of an hour and a half of training at the beginning of the year, and I sort of sit and click through it. It was something that I thought we desperately needed, to get people engaged. And there's all what I learned about through this sort of experience was that there's a lot more to sort of learning that can help with security. So if you can, sort of make your end users much more sort of cautious, aware of the risks, they're more likely to, sort of get engaged with the business. And also, it's not just the end users; it's also the the business leaders, the people with the purse strings as well. So across the business, you want people to know that security isn't just there as insurance. It's something that should have a big importance and really bring together all of your security sort of measures. So yeah, here's an example here of sort of on the left we've got sort of the PowerPoint type content that you may have seen versus the right, which is the this sort of cinematic production quality stuff. It turns out Inspired e-learning have got employees that have worked in animation, film, and yeah, take real pride in the content. So yeah, it was very interesting sort of partnering with them. In fact, at sort of end of 2020, we actually merged. VIPRE Security Group acquired IEL, so we're kind of part of the same deal now, which kind of brings me to the actual product. So we collaborated on something which it it was a product that we really wanted to focus on the security sort of aspect of it, how it's delivered, what makes it effective and how you sort of prove that return on investment as well. So I'll just go through some of the components that sort of make it up, and then I'll show you how we sort of weave it together into an actual offering. The first part of it is an assessment. So we've taken some of this training, and the key is to sort of automate it and automate the sort of the delivery of it over time. Within the first few weeks, this is a cloud-based solution. You can test users on a wide variety of sort of security sort of topics and get some instant feedback and instant grades. So anyone who's trialing the system, using it within the first few weeks, will get a baseline of how their employees are sitting within and how that sort of relates to the security posture of the business. Something to improve on, basically. The second component is what I've mentioned just then, is the comprehensive courseware. It's not just about the sort of cinematic quality that I talked about, but it's also there's gamification built into. There's other sort of bits of interactivity that you can encourage people to go on. All the courses are in sort of this SCORM format, which means that your sort of progress is kept throughout the courses, and you can also put assessments into the courses to gather more data from the end users. But and the other important thing about it is all of the courses that another reason why we chose to partner with IEL was that they had out of the box a lot of content to use to begin with, and they're all each of the topics are probably only about 15 minutes long, so we're concentrating on short, sharp sort of deliveries, which is then augmented with the micro-learning modules as well, which is the same sort of same topics that are covered, but they're only about a minute long as opposed to the 15-minute courses. And if you deliver those sort of in sequence, then you can reinforce on the same messages and things, so it sinks in and your users stay more aware of some of these risks. The other fairly major part of the product is the sort of built-in phishing tool, which is actually it could be a standalone product, but yeah, you can create your own phishing simulations. You can automate the phishing simulations as well, so they get dropped in amongst the courses. And again, it's another way to get this information, which is pretty rare with security tools anyway. Getting information back from end users, so you can see who the susceptible people are, and over time you can see if people are actually improving based on the messaging. And of course, the other thing is proving this return on investment, which is the reporting that's built in as well. So you start off with the assessment results, people's progress through the courses, whether or not they're clicking on phishing simulations, and overall you form a larger picture of that sort of security posture, which you can improve year on year. So in terms of the problem, which it's pretty obvious really. Over time you have, again, this comes down to some of the learning theory that I learned as I was speaking to Inspired e-Learning, putting the product together. Over time people just forget stuff, basically. So again, if you binge watch a lot of the courses and take them up front over time, and you can see even over the course of 30 days you will forget a lot of that. So if the object, and this is what we thought about, if the object is to keep people informed of the risks and make sure that they it affects their behaviour, we need to make sure that this isn't happening. So in terms of how we would do it, and this is where we leverage the automation within the system. And again, it's not incredibly complicated. It's just a case of delivering the those various modules at opportune times, basically. So over time, as this graph suggests, that people begin to forget, but then they get the content and it gets reinforced. So over time, you've got this sort of set of knowledge that you can expect your end user to have. So what I'm showing you now is the learning path that we have as well. So the software itself allows you to automate the delivery in a cadence. So it's it's not random. You'll see we have assessments, simulations, so the phishing simulations in between the assessments. So it's fairly regular, but it's not so rigid that end users don't remain engaged with it. So over time, you've got all this data to collect, And you know, the idea is that we have a learning path per year, and this is how we deliver all these different courses that cover all of the sort of security subjects that you'd expect. So that's that. And just to show you what the sort of portal looks like as well. On the left-hand side, you've got the sort of learning path progress. So again, you get this sort of green mark as all the courses and phishing simulations are consumed. That overlays the purple in the background, so at a glance you can tell if people are actually taking the courses and things. And the system will, of course, send out reminders automatically to make sure people log in. In the middle, you've got a line sort of showing how many susceptible users you have after all of the phishing campaigns. So again, over time, you'd expect that that line to be trending downwards as people learn. And on the right, you've got the results back from the assessments as well. So again, over time, you can see that people are actually getting better sort of performance scores in there too. So this is what the learner portal looks like, very simple from an end user point of view. As soon as the product's deployed, they'll get an email which just prompts them to log in, and from there they can see their courses, their latest courses, and a transcript so they can see how they're doing. That's what it looks like inside. This is actually a view of a learner that's been using it for probably sort of 8 months or so. So a number of courses have been deployed. But with the learning path, the deployments only happen at as you get to that point in time. So you don't get presented with all the courses up front, because then you would encourage that sort of binge watching. Yeah, they get deployed each and every month depending on the cadence, and yeah, you can click and take them again, and yeah, see how you've done on them. And that's kind of what they look like at the end. If you completed it, you also get a little certificate, and that's that part. In terms of the, I mentioned the phishing tool. This is again just a glimpse inside. There's a WYSIWYG editor. There's several hundred examples that you can choose from. We're a worldwide business, so we've collected the the phishing emails from all over the world. We're also an email security company as well, so we can take some of that data and use some of the prevalent threats. But any template can be edited. You'll see you've got you can change each of the sort of components of it. We have about 30 or so sort of domains that we can use, which we monitor the reputation of, which can be used, which is slightly more effective than just spoofing anything. So yeah, these come through, and all of the phishing examples will have a sort of classification, easy, medium or hard as well, because you don't necessarily want to fool people all the time. You want to give them a few sort of easy ones to spot, so that you can reinforce those messages about how to report them, and just encourage that interactivity. The other thing, I mean, it is very much like a sort of marketing campaign in terms of the data you can get back from it. People click on links, you can see, I think this is a customer you have in the Isle of Man. You can see they're all sort of concentrated around there, but you get some IP details as well as email addresses from those that click on it. And if there are susceptible users, that will automatically put them into a separate folder, and you can change the the cadence of the delivery of some of the courses to account for those. You give them more courses, for example, or you can give them phishing-related courses for that. There's a few examples of some of the phishing emails that we've used along the way. It was quite interesting during sort of lockdown, and especially sort of approaching Christmas. We ran a few sort of free phishing campaigns that people could sign up for, our own customers. These sort of DPD ones, or sort of parcel delivery ones, we got on average probably about a 10% hit rate on those. And yeah, with COVID rules and things, a lot of the people were sort of looking at looking for government related emails and things to click on. So yeah, you can pretty much do anything really with the tool. And that's brought me to the end of it. Hopefully that was 10 minutes. So yeah, we're on a stand. We've got I mentioned the phishing trials. If anyone would like to have a go at that, just take a card and we can talk further. So, thank you very much.
That's cool. Just doing the intro, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Left the clicker on there.
No worries. I'm literally just introing it. It's a video. I've just got the easy part. So my name is Mike Fraser from EXONAR. Thanks for your time. I'm just going to hand you over to our CEO, Danny Reeves, who's just going to tell you a little bit about our company. If you've got any questions, come and grab me. It's more around data discovery than cybersecurity, so it's more about looking at what you've got and then protecting. But it's a little bit different spin, but yeah, take it away.
Hi, I'm Danny, and today I want to share with you who EXONAR are and why every organisation and person on earth needs an EXONAR in their lives. So there's a data problem out there, we all know it, and it's different for each of us, but there are some common truths. This data berg represents an average of the type of things we see within our organisations that we work with. 12% of the data is critical and used on a daily basis, with 23% being redundant, obsolete and trivial, and approximately 65% being dark. They don't even know it's there. So therefore they're not able to see the data, know what's in it, access it in one place, and therefore protect and power their business. EXONAR was born a data discovery and indexing company, and what we built is a platform that looks like this. We get across all physical and virtual environments, we have no limitations. We get across all data types, right the way through structured and unstructured, and we do them all equally well. And we build this index, which is an index of all of your data in absolute detail. So you get in less than a day, a living index in absolute detail, instantly and infinitely searchable in one user interface and connected to all your chosen tools through the API. So we've nailed these 4 pillars. Complete coverage across all sources, types, structured and unstructured, at massive scale, working into billions of items of data in absolute detail, sometimes many layers deep. And then with the API, you can either use our user interface or connect it to the systems you've already invested in. We've been doing this for a while, so we know right out of the box the kind of things people are looking for, which enables us to build these dashboards. These dashboards are for use by humans, they are drillable, right down into the absolute detail that you're looking for. We work in these 3 categories largely: governance, risk and compliance, where in one example we helped a customer find a spreadsheet in an open file share that contained the names, addresses and PII of every customer for an organisation they sold 5 years ago. It had been sitting there for the last 4.5 years, not being used, but accessible to most. In information security, we helped a pharmaceutical identify IP data, conversations between 2 people about particular formulas that their legal team were able to use in an intellectual property challenge. And in strategic IT and operations, well, that's simple. If you can address the 23 and the 65%, you can reduce your storage requirements, and you can even remove the data that you don't want to move into an environment if you're in the middle of a transformation. So a quick example, we were working with a bank who had a red audit that needed to be cleared up. They put a small team together to work on the problem, working through 700,000+ files. They were given native tools to find specific risks in all of that data. 6 months later, they approached us and asked if we could help. We plugged the system into the data set. 700,000 files is small beans for us. We were able to immediately identify that 80% of the data didn't meet their risk profile. And of the 20% that did, we were able to categorize them into high, medium and low, saving them 5 years worth of effort, increasing their efficiency tenfold, and in the same time saving them a huge risk, liability and reduction in their storage costs. Our customers come to us with many use cases. We recommend they start with 1. It could be anything from M&A and due diligence right the way through to privacy and GDPR. Once that use case has been addressed and you've got used to using the platform, got used to being in control of such a powerful index, then you can point it at whichever use case is important to you. And you will recognize one, some or all of these use cases as being in your priority lists. As we said, through the API, we can connect the system to any of your processes, any of your systems, any of your priorities and requirements, and therefore enable and enhance the investments that you've already made. And finally, we work right across the maturity stack. Whether your organization is working on tracking legacy data at the early stages of the maturity stack or an information business intelligence specialist, EXONAR sits right across the stack, and we're not limited to which part you work on or even working on all of it at the same time. I hope that's helped you understand a little bit about why you would need an EXONAR in your life. Feel free to contact us, and thanks for listening.
If anyone's got any questions, feel free to grab me.
Yep. Welcome. I'm Sid Ninan, and we're from Us the Cyber. My colleague will kind of present a brief demo later on. But yeah, just to kind of, quickly just remind everyone who we are. We are actually a London-based or UK-based kind of cybersecurity consulting house. We've been active in this industry for the last 11 years. Predominantly, we do have a lot of expertise in the financial services, the media, and the telecom sector. So a lot of regulatory kind of, projects have been executed. And we do, we kind of, focus on a lot of cloud-based projects as well. Just to kind of moving on, what we've really seen our customers, through the journey of from moving to on-prem to kind of, cloud, we suddenly see exploding data volumes. So we need, so our customers actually come to us and kind of, ask us to kind of recommend solutions, recommend kind of, technology stacks on how do we handle them. So therefore, we not just only kind of manage, SOC, but we manage our clients through the different levels of maturity for cybersecurity that they might have. Yes, we do breach simulation as well, and yeah, we also provide threat intel feeds. But essentially, what we're trying to kind of bring to the table is unifying security analytics. We want to kind of, want the client to kind of see all the aggregated analytics onto one single glass pane view. And this is where actually I'll hand over to Srijit, because he'll actually demo you a recent project that we undertook within the financial services sector. Yeah. Yep.
Next one. What's that?
The videos.
Do you play? Can you play videos? Excuse me. The video is there. Yeah, that's the one. So this is one of the one which we. Hi, my name is Srijit. I work for as a CyberTech as a technical director. So this is one of the things which we did for one of the client. So the main issue with the client was that they have AWS, they have Azure and GCP. So they don't know, like, they want a single pane of glass view of all these cloud providers in on one of the SIEM solution. So this is one of the dashboard which we have created for them. So the dashboard looks kind of a bit simple, but the integration part was a bit hard for us when we did it. So this is one of the one which look for the risk score. I'll show you. The first one is for AWS, and this is a GCP. So these are the cases raised, how much event processed by each analyst, what are the false positive rate, and what is the license usage, etc., and what are the resources being used. This kind of activity or this kind of things, if you go to a certain provider, you won't be able to get it. So we have to do a customization of everything, and we did for this for one of our clients. So they're really impressed with this one, because before they have to log into each platform to see what is available and what is not available, and this helped them in getting a holistic view of what is the security posture. So these are one of the malicious connections which is there, like trying to connect to their network. So this will give them just a good view on what is the security posture. Yeah, that's it. If you've got any questions or anything like that, I'm more than happy to help. Yeah. Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Simpkins. I'm the CEO of Corsia, and I'm very happy to be part of the CyberTech Forum today to talk about our new platform where we provide zero trust for API traffic. As most people understand, the internet today is predominated by machine-to-machine communications where data is flowing between automated processes, whether that's internal to enterprises, including the financial services sector, or from one institution to another. The data is predominantly moved from between machines. And those machines can take a lot of different forms. They can be virtual machines in the cloud. They can be microservices, Kubernetes pods, Docker containers. They can also be physical devices, servers or IoT devices, all of which are connected to one another largely by APIs today, an application programming interface. This is essentially the language that connects machine traffic. 83% of all traffic on the internet is between machines across APIs. And APIs are an important part of the network environment, and that importance will grow. It makes life better for customers and enterprises, easier to connect and to move data. But it also creates a new target. And increasingly, hackers are understanding that APIs, if they can be compromised, give them access to way more network capabilities, data, personal information, than if you're just targeting human users themselves. And in recent years, there have been a lot of reports talking about compromised APIs. Some of these are from attacks where hackers are specifically trying to steal API keys or tokens in order to break in, or sometimes it's just by misconfiguration or sloppy management of secrets among enterprises where keys and tokens are easy to steal and then they can be used to break in. Whether it's a concerted attack or just mismanagement based on the difficulty of managing secrets and APIs, either way, it opens up these junctures as a way to get in. And so in order for us to have a strong cybersecurity posture, we have to protect them. And the mode today and the objective from a cybersecurity perspective is to achieve zero trust. In the human world, what that means is you don't trust the endpoint or device that's connecting to you. You do verification and you leverage the identity and authentication in order to allow connections from users into your network, even when you don't fully trust who they are. APIs and applications are the same. There's often no human user involved, but we still need to have that notion of identity and authentication in order to achieve zero trust. Corsia has developed a platform where we can deploy within an enterprise network, and for your own internal operations or for APIs you may expose to third parties, we can provide a dynamic machine identity for every device, every machine in your network across platforms. We then use that dynamic machine identity for all the machines in your network to do one-time use only authentication credentials that accompany your main authentication scheme. And what that really does is provide multi-factor authentication for machine communications in the same way that we get security codes to log into our bank accounts. For every single API call in the network, the dynamic machine identity is leveraged to create multi-factor authentication for the API traffic. It pins access between only trusted machines so hackers can't spoof your endpoints. It allows you to expose APIs to vendors, suppliers, partners, customers with trust and with security. And we're cloud native and also cloud agnostic. We can operate on basically any platform. Whether you're in the midst of digital transformation, trying to secure your supply chain, trying to shore up DevSecOps processes, or interconnecting between other banks, other institutions, and your customers, we can help secure all of those junctures in an automated, slick, no-code change way where we drop in and provide you the trust you need. Would love to talk to you more, whether in a follow-up or connect with me on Umbrella during the forum. Very pleased to be with you today. Thank you for your time.
Hi, hello, my name is Liran. I'm leading the business for cyber in EMEA. And in this 5 minutes demo, I will show you what CyberInt is doing. So basically, CyberInt is a cybersecurity software company. We are a company with more than 80 experts, cyber experts, either for research and development or cybersecurity threat intelligence analysts. We operate globally. We have offices in America, in UK, in Asia, and in Israel. Our headquarters are in Israel, and also myself. I'm also taking this video from Israel. We are basically providing a technology named Argos, which is a robust threat intelligence platform. And on top of our technology, we are providing managed services to help our customers get more insights and more value from our platform. We are recognized by most of the analysts and of course by Gartner. We are recognized by Gartner in two very important reports. One is threat intelligence, and second is external attack surface mapping. In 2022, we will be listed under Digital Risk Protection report, and this is our main business. What we are doing, we provide comprehensive digital risk protection by turning intelligence into actions, resulting in effective and proactive cyber defense, which means that what we are doing, we are gathering intelligence about your company from various sources, and we try to create high value, pinpointed, effective, proactive alerts to help you with your cyber defense. We are handling with all the threats outside the perimeter, and this is how we do it. On the right side, you will see a typical organization. The organization has its data and also has its sensitive data, such as credentials, PII, and other sensitive data for the company. And this data can be accessed and managed via multiple digital channels. It can be social media, it can be employee web pages, can be development environments, web services for customers, mobile apps, payment platforms, and of course, every company has a marketing site to showcase whatever the company is offering. And those are the multiple digital channels. And as you know, when the world is growing, the digital world is evolving. There are more and more digital channels. On the other side of the digital world, there are the threat actors. The threat actors are living in a secret places of the internet, generally called the dark web. And what they will do, they will create and operate tools and techniques to try and harm your organization. They will either try to penetrate the organization or try to steal information from the organization, or either try to extort the organization via ransomware operations and so on. And once they extracted information, they will also try to sell it in the darknet for other threat actors. What we are doing in CyberInt, we have two main models. One is the attack surface monitoring, which we automatically discover all the digital assets of the company. And we start monitoring those digital assets for any possible misconfiguration, any possible backdoor, basically anything that may attract a hacker to conduct an attack against the organization. On the other side, we also do open, deep, and dark web monitoring with our threat intelligence model. This is a fully SaaS cyber lake that operates for more than 6 years. We have thousands of sources, and we are able to source more than 1 million new intelligence indicators per day. And by combining the intelligence we got from the two modules, we are able to provide your company with higher quality, higher certainty cyber threat alerts. So by doing this, we are able to cover the following business risks. We are covering from the attack surface monitoring the digital footprint of the company, any possible open doors or misconfiguration. We are able to detect and take down any phishing campaigns against your organization. We are able to detect any brand abuse and to help protect your brand in the digital world. So fake social media profile, impersonation, negative sentiment, defacement. From the darknet, we're able to detect attackware, either famous attacks or targeted attacks targeting your company digital asset, or in general your company, or discussions in the darknet of threat actors that are trying to conduct an attack against your company. We can detect that. We're able to detect fraud techniques. It can be refund fraud, can be coupon fraud, and can be traditional fraud such as money laundering. And we're able to detect leaked data, and we're able to detect ransomware operations. We're able to detect compromised access tokens, compromised information, leaked data, leaked files, compromised payment cards, compromised employee credentials, and compromised customers' credentials. On this way, we're able to provide an holistic approach for digital risk protection. We are trying to provide our customers with all the abilities to protect their assets beyond the perimeter, their digital risk protection by CyberInt. I hope it is valuable for you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I have my contact details, and I'm also available in the event. Thank you very much.
Thanks to Liran for presenting, even though he couldn't join us and he's based in Israel. So that brings us to close of the demo stage. We've seen some very interesting presentation and insights. If you want to get more information, do reach out to the presenters on the Brella app. We still have plenty of more content happening in the main stage. So for our virtual delegates, it's very easy. Just above your stream, you can switch to the main stage where content is happening right now. For everyone here, just it's a short walk to just join in there. We have Cloudflare presenting shortly, and also interesting panels on the regulatory challenges in cybersecurity with representatives from HSBC and Standard Chartered. So do not miss that, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. Thank you.